Hello and welcome back to Train Sim World. Thank you very much for joining me in this video, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Northern Trans-Pennine Manchester to Leeds route, the first in perhaps a three-part video or three-part series where I'm going to be taking a look at this DLC, breaking it down and just seeing how good it is, what's good about it, what's bad about it. Is it worth the price? What is contained in it? And just giving you a feel for these old British trains. So, in essence, I guess you'll have to join me for the next 1, 2, 3 videos to really get a feel for this DLC and what I think of it. So the Northern Trans-Pennine route is the latest DLC available from Dovetail Games. It is available currently on the Steam store for £24.99. So it's not the cheapest of DLCs, but we're going to find out what we get with it. Now, before I go into the tutorials, which is what I'm going to do today, you can see that they're already ticked because I tried to record this earlier and it didn't go so well. But we are going to be going into these tutorials again, and I'm going to be showing you through, or taking you through them, and then in the next couple of videos after that we're going to be doing maybe a couple of scenarios, maybe 1 or 2 scenarios. So that is what we are going to be doing. But before we get into any of that, for £24.99, what do we get? So before I talk about exactly what's available, let's read the article from Dovetail Live just before this actually came out. So just before this route came out, this is what they wrote. So some history about this line and why they have created it. What exists today as the line between Manchester and Leeds dates back to 1849, when the Manchester Stockport and Leeds Railway opened between Huddersfield and Stalybridge. This stretch was soon extended and eventually incorporated into the larger London and North Western Railway network. The line was built following the success of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal, which since 1816 transported coal and materials between Yorkshire and Lancashire in order to power the revolutionised industries of the era, such as textiles. The canal was running at capacity, competition on the waters was near impossible, and the quantity of moved goods was not sufficient. It was time for the rails to take charge. While some railway routes took the easier lower pass through the Pennines, the line via Huddersfield would tackle the hillside directly, consequently following smaller canals such as the Huddersfield Narrow Canal through the summit of the route at Standedge Tunnel. The railway tunnel itself ran parallel to the canal tunnel, the deepest, longest and highest of its kind in Britain, and was engineered by Thomas Nicholson, who had also worked on the famed Woodhead tunnels. So the Woodhead route is another route that is available, and fans of Train Sim should actually know this route. The railway opened to traffic in July 1849 and saw over 1,000 passengers on its first day of operation. This number would only increase, and today the line is one of the busiest in West Yorkshire. The Northern Trans-Pennine route for Train Sim World is set in 1983, capturing the 43-mile route between Manchester Victoria and Leeds City, thought with nostalgia, diesel grime and an industrial landscape. The Pennines will be brought to life with the assistance of classic British Railway diesel traction, the British Railway Class 47, the mechanical British Railway Class 101, the first of its kind in Train Sim World, and the star of the show, the British Railway Class 45 Peak, all of which work together on express and local passenger duties. For loco haul trains, the Mark IIA TSO and FK coaches will feature, along with the Mark 1 BG. All of this shall sport British Railway corporate blue as a base, with a dose of blue and grey on the Class 101 and the coaches as per the era. So there you go, there you have it. So we've got a decent route length, we've got a number of scenarios, and we've got 3 engines to go with it. So let's have a look at what we have here. So before we get into the tutorials, I'm going to have a look at the scenarios, and let's just read through the scenarios. Also, put it in the comments box right now, which one of these scenarios do you want me to do in the next video? So we have Trans-Pennine. Class 101 operates short service over the summit of the Northern Trans-Pennine main line. Driving rain, a Class 45, join an eastbound locomotive haul service outside Huddersfield and complete the journey through to Leeds. Down and Out, which is a 101, completes a passenger run into Manchester Victoria before taking the train out of service and heading to Newton Heath Depot. Rescue Run, Class 45, a passenger train has failed at Leeds. Run out from the Holbeck Depot with a spare locomotive and continue the service to Huddersfield. Or Red Bank Rotation, which is in a Class 47, take a freshly prepared rake of coaches into Manchester Victoria before bringing another train back to Red Bank carriage siding. So those are the scenarios that are available, and then of course after that we have services where you pick your train and then you just go for it, so you can pick any service you want. For now though, we are going to jump into the tutorials. I'm going to run this twice so we get to see both those engines, and then I'm going to run this once. So here we go. Introducing service mode. Play your way and choose from a host of activities throughout. Oh, never mind, it's gone. Diesel locomotives.
Welcome to these Class 45 and Class 47 locomotives in BR Corporate Blue livery. This brief introduction will go through start-up, stopping and passenger door operations.
I like the fact that he has a Yorkshire accent. It's a very Yorkshire accent. Don't really matter though now, doesn't it? Right, that's probably not how you say anything like in Yorkshire. I'm sorry to all people in Yorkshire and Lancashire and all that area. Let's take a look at this one first.
Started,
this is the
battery isolation switch.
This is the Class 45, I think. Let's have a look. Yes, Class 45. There we go. 45137 is the number of this train. So, first thing it says is the battery isolation switch, which is actually here. This little triangle. There you go.
A lot of time will be spent in the locomotive cab, so climb aboard to get started.
Right, we're going to go in the locomotive cab and we're going to get started. Okay, so we're going to get up here, and the first thing is it's actually a very... I'm going to stop. It's actually quite a climb, and I've done this before. It is actually quite a climb up. So we're going to sit down here, but first let's have a look around this cab. Fire gong sounds. Ooh, can I zoom? Yeah, it's actually very good quality. The one thing, again, I have to give Train Sim World across the board is the quality. They really know how to make things look good. So that's the fire gong. Does the test work? I wonder. Probably not yet. Okay. Bunch of information here. There's the 45 next to us. That looks like a handbrake. Excuse me, mate. That looks like a handbrake to me. In fact, that is a handbrake, I'm sure of it.
Activate the control
right,
desk.
so the master key is just here. So there we go, we'll turn that. Why is that not? Oh, and then we need to put this into engine only. So I'm actually going to bring this up and then swap that into engine only.
Locomotive
so now
is
there's a start lever there, so it's not really a button, it's more of a lever. That started. Lovely. So now we have to work around with this. So we're going to get the straight brake pipe pressure and drop it when it tells us. Why won't it tell us? What happened there? I'm not sure what's gone wrong here. This is it's not the first time it's happened. I've had this problem with Train Sim World before, actually. And I'm not sure what it actually is. No. Alright, well this is not going well, is it? Engine stop. Press the engine stop button. Sit down again. Can we not do it again? And I can't press anything. Nope, can't press anything. Great. Well, let me quickly restart that. I'll quickly restart that one.
During the startup procedure.
There we go. Now we're back.
Release the brakes and allow the system to charge.
Right, so there we go. We're going to charge the system. That's the horn, I think. There's some weird shading happening there. So we're just waiting for the brake system to charge. So I'm looking at it.
Use the reverser to set the direction of travel.
Don't actually know. That can go to forward now.
Marker lights are used to inform others around that this locomotive is active.
So I'm going to switch the markers on.
Almost ready. Release the remaining brakes. The parking brake and straight air brake.
Alright, so we've got the parking brake there that you can just press from here. That can go down and the engine should start rolling.
To start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly.
It's
important to provide a smooth ride for passengers.
There we go, we are now rolling. It is downhill, so that's why we're rolling. Now, this has a coast function. So, if I just take you through this, that's throttle, as you can see. And I can go there, that's coasting, and then that's off. So that's just something to be aware of. And this doesn't have notches, so even though it does seem to show notches, it doesn't actually have notches. So if you have a look under the speedometer on the HUD, it does show 0, 1, 2, 3, but that doesn't actually happen. There we go, we're now climbing nicely. So now we're going to use the throttle and brake to manage the speed. So in this case, we're actually going to just use the brakes. So what you do is you increase the brakes. So you have this to release, and then we have this to increase. So there you go. And you'll see the brake light pressure just climb. Just a little. You see it. There it goes. And then I can hold it, and then I can release it. And then you see it go down again. So that's how that actually works. So in fact, in my opinion, it's a little bit more intuitive, I think. I do think it's a little bit more intuitive than the stepped braking. It's more natural as well. I just think it's a little bit more natural to have brakes like this. Now I switch on the instrument lights. Now, in the tutorial you can't actually do much. It doesn't actually let you. Alright, so let's just release the brakes. Ooh. Nope, release the brakes. Release the brakes. That's a mistake. Went the wrong way. So I'm just going to bring this up to 15 miles per hour. There we go, bring it into coast once again. It's running really well. Now we're going to have to stop in the station. I suppose I don't need that. Keep it slightly slow. We're coming into a 10 anyway, so I'm going to do that. And here we go, into the station. So I'm assuming we now have to stop in the station. In fact, I know we've got to stop in the station.
Now let's try stopping at a station and boarding passengers. The key aspect is to make a gentle, controlled approach.
Okay.
Stopping a train in the right place is a skill that takes years of practice. It may take a few attempts to get it right.
Perhaps. I think if we just leave the brakes like that, we should stop quite nicely. Or not. Actually, that was too strong on the brakes. Where are we meant to stop? Don't know. I'll just stop it here though. that good enough?
Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Okay, all is safe. And the doors can be unlocked. There we go. That's not actually a bad stop. Actually stopped rather well. So that's this engine. That's the first engine. So we've got to go back and do this again with a different engine, and we'll see what we get. If anything. So that's our tail lights, route indicator. I don't know what that light is. Cab heaters, lighting there for the engine room, cab lighting, nose lighting, I like that. Inspection lamp.
Boarding is now complete. Set the doors to locked.
Doors locked.
Good work. That is the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this locomotive and more.
Okay. Well, now we're going to restart that, and we're actually going to do it with the other train. Introducing NEC New York. That's not a bad DLC, although personally I prefer this. I prefer the British ones, but I'm probably biased. So while he's talking this time, I'm going to have a look around.
Welcome
these
to
trains.
these Class 45 and Class 47 locomotives in BR Corporate Blue livery. This brief introduction will go through startup, stopping and passenger door operations.
So that's the 45. We're going to get on board the 47 in a minute. Just this one here. Great writing, great detail, look at that. Lifting points here when lifting locomotive with bogies. Chains to be attached at inner jacking points and lugs provided on side frame. Lovely. Oh, where are the lugs? Probably underneath. Very nice, very nice. Really good. Grimy industrial Britain look. What was that noise? I do wish they had a better sky.
A lot of time will be spent in the locomotive cab, so climb aboard to get started.
Alright, no battery isolation switch outside for this one. What I will say is it's still very quiet. This seems to be just a problem
to get the locomotive started, set
with
the battery
Train Sim
isolation
World.
switch.
Battery isolation switch is back here. So I'm going to go ahead, I'll do that so I can actually find it, and do that.
The master key is used to activate the control desk.
Well, we'll turn that. That goes to engine only. There you
The
go.
locomotive is now ready to be started.
And that should start it. There you go, engine starts. Now we've got to do the
Use
same
the
thing.
straight air brake to hold.
Same thing.
Release the brakes and allow the system to charge.
So what are we looking at here? There's the reservoir charging there. See, that is going up. That should be down to 0 eventually. Brake pipe pressure is increasing. Steam pressure. Okay. Handbrake there.
Use the reverser to set the direction of travel.
That's forward.
Marker lights are used to inform others around.
Marker lights are on.
Almost ready. Release the remaining brakes.
Parking brake goes off. Straight pipe goes
Increase
off.
the throttle to start moving. Do
We're
not
already going
apply
to stop
too
moving.
much power too quickly. It's important to provide a smooth ride for passengers.
Now this does have notch marks. 1, 2, 3 and 4. But that doesn't actually mean it's notched. So you can see I can move it anywhere I want. So it's not that it's notched.
Coasting is used to be fuel efficient. Climbing or falling grades can affect this, however, so always be vigilant of your speed.
And again, the same thing here is I just bring that down. If I hold D to bring that down, it leaves it to the coast position. If I hold it there, it takes it off. So look, there you go. And then if I press A, it brings it back up to coasting position. Now with this one, I really don't need this at all. So we're just trying to maintain 15 miles per hour here. Now with this, we'll bring that up. You'll see the brake pipe pressure raise. and then that slows it down, essentially. This is very easy to manage. Very, very easy to manage this. So you can see I'm just trying it out, seeing what I've got here. But I did think those should be moving upwards. This right here. I'm watching this, these two, for bogey 1, bogey 2, that pressure, but shouldn't that be moving? I don't know. I really don't know. Now, I don't see any speed limit for 10 miles per hour yet. Yeah, essentially what you do is you say, well, look, I want that, and that holds it in that position, as you can see. Like that. And then I can say, one more. There you go. That holds it in that position. And then say now we're doing 10 miles per hour. I release the brake, so I hold it there. That releases it. Really simple. I like this system way more than the modern notch systems. I just find this more analog. And if it's more analog, I just find it more intuitive. I know what I want.
Stopping at a station and boarding passengers. The key aspect is to make a gentle, controlled approach.
Key aspect, gentle and controlled.
Stopping a train in the right place is a skill that takes years of practice. It may take a few attempts to get it right.
Okay, well, I'm going to knock this into idle, like that, and I'm going to give ourselves some brakes. That's where it wants us to stop. Okay. This doesn't seem too difficult at all. Of course, there's probably a far more efficient way to do it. Because I'm now coasting very slowly to my stopping position. That should stop me very nicely where I need to be. Perfect.
Give a quick glance at the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Okay, I also want to stop pressing the brakes and just giving that. There we go. Don't need that much brake pipe pressure. So you'll notice here that it says there release, running, initial, and then full service. So that's how you do that. Alright, and I think that's going to be the end of this tutorial as well. So now we're just going to jump into the class 101, which I can tell you, and I can confirm, that it is one of those with gears.
Boarding is now complete.
Really
Set
cool.
the doors
I was
to
hoping that it would be that.
Good work.
So what's
That
going
is
to
the basics
happen?
covered.
Hey, stop talking.
Manual
I'm
can
talking.
also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this locomotive and more.
Yes, you've already told me that. Alright, so if we just go to the next tutorial, this one is quite a special train. It's an old train and it's got gears. So as you can imagine, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Welcome to this Class 101 diesel mechanical multiple unit in British Rail blue and grey livery. This brief introduction will cover startup, stopping and passenger boarding. A lot of time will be spent in the cab, so climb aboard to get started.
Okay, can we climb aboard from any of these? No, just from the one that says private. This is a proper commuter train. Looks
When
awesome.
ready, sit in the...
I'm in.
The main switch is used to activate the control desk.
Right, that's the main switch there. There we go.
Marker lights are used to inform others around that this train is active.
Right, so marker up is white lights. Marker down is red. There we go. Destination light can go on. And then we've got throttle. Now, for some reason on this one, you set the throttle to full before you start the engines. And the engine start
DMU
is
has 4
there and
engines
there.
across the whole unit, all of which need to be started.
So There's one. And there's two. And then we put the throttle to idle. Alright.
The rear of the train must be set up manually for each journey. Head over there now.
Having a look at this is quite nice, isn't it? Little open area. It's just passengers standing, and the other cab. A little bit narrow, as you would expect. It is a little old commuter train. We weren't very fussy.
Red marker lights are used to signify that this is the rear of the operational
train.
train.
So this goes down. That's red lights. If you look outside, you'll see those are red lights. There you go. Front, got white lights. Handbrake needs to be released, which is that there. Now this is odd because you do that and there's a little bug. It feels like it's in the wrong position, and then it takes a while for it to actually go about its handbrake business. There it goes. I don't even know if that's released. Is that released? There we go. So we've got to turn it a few times.
This unit is now ready to go.
It looks like there's a few turns on that. Alright, we'll close that. We'll close you. And I guess we should really be professional about this. We'll close you. We'll close you. Close you. Run right up to the front and close you. Lovely. Right, so here we go.
Give a quick glance.
Yep. We really need mirrors on these things. So handbrake for that is there. Again, it'll probably do the same weird thing. This is our gear lever. Currently sitting in, I don't know what. That's our reverser. That's our brake. I'm not too sure how this brake works. I feel like it is the same as the 47 and 43, in which it holds it at a certain value. Not a clue what that is. I think that's some sort of
Boarding is now complete.
I don't know what that is.
Set the doors to locked.
I'll find out what that is at some point, I'm sure.
Use the reverser to set the direction of travel.
Yeah, so we can just put the reverser to forward. Here's our
This train
gears.
features a gear system similar to cars on the road. To attain higher speeds, the active gear must be increased at the appropriate time. When accelerating and the RPM dial reads in the yellow zone, it is appropriate to change up a gear.
So, the way this works is just like a car, you need to drop the revs. So that means we're going to have to drop the power, go up a gear, increase the power again. That's how we're going to have to do that. Now to control the gears, you use the control and the A and the D. So, see that's in third, second, and that's in first.
The brakes on this train act like a water tap. The higher the setting, the faster the train will stop. Open the valve to select the desired pressure, then close it again to maintain that pressure.
Yep, so that kind of makes sense. So that should be released, I think. Handbrake does that weird flicky thing again. See, then it doesn't want to actually turn. That's the issue there. So I've clicked it and it doesn't want to do anything. It'll stay like that for a few seconds. And then, there it goes. Now it's working. Now I don't know how long it's going to turn for. Oh, there we go, we're now unlocked. It still wants us to set. That's not. There we go, that's fully off.
Increase the throttle
Right.
to start moving. Do not apply too much power too quickly. It's important to provide a smooth ride for
I
passengers.
think this is the horn right in the middle. I'm fairly sure it is. Right, I want to switch on my lights. And I'm not sure what changeover's for, by the way.
Up ahead, the maximum permitted speed will increase. As it does, it will be appropriate to increase to the next gear, and the train will accelerate further.
This should be fun. Can I switch on? No. Right, we're currently in the area where we need to change a gear. But for now we're okay. Step 1 seems to be, or step 1 of throttle just seems to be is idle, sorry, it's step 0, it was in first gear. Alright, so we should be going up to 75 in a few seconds, there we go. So now we've got to go up a gear.
The process of changing gear has several steps. Reduce the engine RPM by setting the throttle to idle. Engage the new gear, then return to the desired throttle application. Let's try.
This should be interesting. So we go like that, go up a gear, then go back up. There you go.
Observe
Lovely.
that the train now has the ability to accelerate to a high speed. When the RPM dial reads in the yellow zone, repeat the gear change process to continue accelerating.
So we do that, rev it up, bring it down. There we go, and up to the next gear. That is interesting, to say the least. I've never had to do that on a train before.
To cruise at a constant speed, the highest gear should be engaged. This reduces the speed the engine operates at and is fuel efficient.
Okay, so we're going to bring that to 4th.
Let's stop at the next station. The key aspect is to make a gentle, controlled approach.
Okay.
Stopping a train in the right place is the greatest skill of a train driver. It may take a few attempts to get it right. Depending on the speed of the train, begin braking between 1.5 and 1 mile from the station.
1.5 miles from the station? At 30 miles per hour? I don't think so. I think we need to stop braking at 0.4 of a mile from the station. I think 1.5 miles is just far too... You need to be doing about 125 miles an hour to be 1.5 miles from the station. Well, these lights don't do anything, do they? Still haven't heard the horns.
Brake control on this train opens a vacuum, releasing pressure holding the brakes off the wheels. To maintain a specific pressure, close this valve by setting the handle to the lapped position.
Okay.
Use the control now to set the brake pressure dial to the indicated value.
Yeah, I don't know what the indicated value is, so...
Aim to be doing no more than 25 miles per hour when the train reaches the platform.
Yeah, that didn't
then come
happen.
to a stop anywhere alongside.
That didn't happen. I missed it. Because you were talking to me. I couldn't do that.
Well done. Practice makes perfect. Give a quick glance to the platform to ensure all is safe, then unlock the doors.
Sure, let's unlock the doors right here. So essentially what happened there is I had no control over my brakes. Hit the brakes, come on. Keep those brakes on, there we go. Like that, that's how it should be. Well, that wasn't brilliant. Sorry. My fault. Well, not my fault actually. The voice in my head is fault. I shouldn't be saying that to you and actually driving a train, should I? That might be a cause for concern. Well, that's where we're going to end this. Thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit the like button if you like this video. Subscribe to the channel for more videos on Train Sim World, Trans-Pennine, Northern Trans-Pennine, Manchester to Leeds. Leave a comment in the comments box below letting me know which scenario to do. Don't forget to support me on Patreon, www.patreon.com/ecgadget. Your support would be massively appreciated. Also, if you're not following me on Twitch, you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/ecgadget and on social media at ecgadgetlp for both Twitter and Instagram.
Good work. That is the basics covered. A manual can also be obtained that provides more detail about the full functionality of this train and more.
Thank you very much, and thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.